For this part of the video, I'll show you guys the web driver of the keyboard of this keyboard. So you have to visit this site. This is a Chinese site. I'll post or I'll put the link down in the description. And once you got here, you have to visit using your Chrome browser or your Edge. It will not work on other browsers, so it is very best to open it in Chrome or Edge. There's a tip here. Basically, that's what I'm saying right now. And yeah, you'll have to translate it or translate the page so that you'll understand because it's all in Chinese characters. Again, this is a Chinese site, so don't expect that it will be in English language. So once you got here, if you're not pretty sure which of this one is the version of your keyboard, it doesn't matter because if you're going to choose the incorrect or the wrong version, your keyboard will not be detected. So mine is the max version. If I selected this and let's allow, it will not work or it will not identify my keyboard as the standard version. So I should be selecting the correct one right here. So once you're here, you just have to select connecting a keyboard and then select the type of the keyboard that you have connected. Okay. Before we go into these options here, you'll have to go first and go in renew right here. I think this is the where you update the firmware of your keyboard. There's an instructions here that you have to follow. So I have the Win60 HE Max version, the keyboard serial number, and the firmware version. So as you can see here, online download, I have the app version 1.0.5. I have the latest version, so I don't have to download any versions at all. But there's an issue here in this version. We'll talk about that later. In this part here, if you're not yet updated or if your keyboard is not yet updated, by the time I uploaded this video, this is the latest, and I think they haven't updated it yet as there is some issues. There's one issue actually. So when you're upgrading or when you're in the process of updating your firmware, the keyboard will not work. So you have to complete or finish the update before you can then use your keyboard. And if you manually selected the incorrect type of keyboard that you have, it will still prompt you to download the correct one or the keyboard will still not work. So you don't have the problem choosing the right or the wrong update folder. So yeah, basically this is a manual upgrade or update. You have to go to the download page here. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works. I'll just put the link again down in the description for your reference. And then once you have downloaded, you have to go to step 3 where you select the firmware and update it manually. So everything here is manual. Okay, so let's move on to lighting settings. So where you can adjust the light. So in this part, you can choose closure, static, and dynamic. So closure, there's no lights at all. It will not emit any light. Static is one color. So red, green, either which color do you prefer, but you can still choose here. Color number 8 is rainbow. No layout or no arrangements of lights. It's just rainbow. That's it. For dynamic, uh, this is the layout of the LED lights. So whichever do you prefer, this is available in all keyboards. So you know what I mean. So you can adjust the brightness. 4 is the maximum brightness. It's pretty bright. The speed is 0. It's just 0, but it's 4 stops right here, so the maximum is 4. This is only applicable if you're going with dynamic, because static doesn't have any layout, any lighting arrangements. So I'm going to use the static because this keyboard is already red enough. We'll choose the red color. Sleep time, never. I don't want this keyboard to sleep as it is wired. Reverse is when you choose dynamic, it will reverse the lighting arrangement from left to right to left, or bottom up, up to bottom. So that's the reverse. So this is the lighting effects, lighting settings. Let's move on to performance. This is where you adjust the actuation points. I highly suggest to go first in keyboard calibration and start calibrating your keyboard, because you normally see that the keyboard is actuating even though you're not touching the keyboard itself. So turn this on, and if you can see that something is going on here, like this, that means that it's actuating. You have to do keyboard calibration. So that's the first thing that I've noticed in this keyboard. So I need to calibrate the keyboard first, and after that I go to normal mode and rapid trigger mode. So here you can select, or you can adjust the actuation points. So the lowest is 0.02 millimeters, but the advertised lowest actuation point is 0.01, but we'll talk about that later. So here you can select WASD only. You can see it's checked here. Let's uncheck. Number keys, all number keys will be selected. Alphabetic keys, all alphabetic keys will be selected, but you can select it manually. So for my WASD and space, it will be the lowest 0.02, right trigger lowest. So everything is in the lowest state. You can test it out for yourself right there. Okay, so that's how I test it. And then I've set mine to my preferred actuation points, but you can manually do yours, or do your own thing. But yeah, let's go to advanced settings. This is where you set up the dead zone. So as per advertisement, it's 0.10 as the dead zone. It is recommended to have this dead zone, which I've followed. However, in this part, it's mentioning here that it's recommended to set it to 0.2, but I'll set it to the lowest. Okay. Yeah, the one that's advertised. And the rate of return, you can adjust it to 8K, 4K, all the way down to 125 hertz. So you can set it. A beast mode, this is the advertised. Well, what happens is that if you turn this on, it will, the actuation point can be much lower than 0.02. 0.01 is the lowest. However, if I turn this on, so I'll turn this one on right here, and if I set my WASD, okay, right there, spacebar, and I wanted to set it 0.01, it will not work. So I don't know if it's like an automatic thing or what, but 0.01 is not an option even in RT mode or rapid trigger. See, it doesn't work. It gives me this error right here. You cannot make it any lower. I don't know if it's just an advertising thing, or just a marketing thing that they're doing, but yeah, better to turn this off, because 0.02 actuation point is already like best for me. I'm not that competitive. So that's very much it in this part of the settings. Let's go to customizable button. Here you can customize your buttons. For example, you have the Windows. I have Windows function 0. This means that you can switch your keyboard. Here, for example, you want A to be letter B. That's very easy. You just have to drag it. Function 1, this is where you're going to press the function button and then the corresponding key. For example, you want to switch off the main light, so you have to press the function and then the main light switch. If you want F5, you have to press Fn and then number 5, the corresponding key. Function 2, this is like a profile where you can create your own. I do prefer the default mapping. So there's number keys, symbol keys, basic keys, function keys, keyboard control, mouse buttons. So those are the things. Advanced keys, this is where you set your SOCD, what else? EKS, I think. But yeah. So I've already done this, but it doesn't work. So this is the main issue here. This keyboard SOCD doesn't work. So I'll try it. So as you can see, SOCD, yeah, overwrite the key press later will overwrite the previous one. A and D, vice versa. I don't know if this needs to be triggered or what, because in the standard version, if you're watching Nig's channel, you'll have to press Fn and right shift for the SOCD to be triggered. However, in this part, or the Max and Pro version doesn't have any indications. So I thought it's automatic. Yeah, doesn't work. SOCD doesn't work. So you have a lot of options here: DKS, MPT, MT, TGL, END, SOCD macro. So I think they need to update the firmware for the Max version. Again, for the standard version, it works. You can watch Meg's. I'll put his video in the description, because the web driver for the Max Pro and the standard version is are different. Though the standard version has an option for light theme or dark theme, and this one don't have any options. It's quite weird. They prioritize the standard version to the Max or the Pro version. So moving on, again, SOCD doesn't work. Let me know if you want me to try other options here. And I don't know how all these options works. But yeah, moving forward, macro management, this works. I've tried this couple of times. So you just have to start recording, for example, start recording. See, works. And you just have to save the recording. You can delete it by doing so, or you can delete some keys here manually, like that. Operation length, this is the amount of, like, how many key press did you make, and let me just delete that. This is the software version, so we're currently in the updated version, as you can see right down here, 0.186b. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. And I just wanted to add something. So I have the download folder over here. This is in Chinese character once again. I don't know what this means, but I don't want to translate it. Let's open it. Okay, Chinese characters once again. We have the Win60, Win68. So if you choose Win68 and upgraded your Win60, it will not work. But if you're going to choose Win60, either the Max or Pro version, or what I mean is that Pro version also works with the Max. I'm not so sure about the Pro. So if you're going to update it to the Pro, it will switch to Pro version. If you're going to update it to the Max, it will switch to Max version. However, if you choose the Pro version it is the version 1.0.4. That's basically the web driver of the Aula Win 60 HE Max for the Pro version.